Guys, I only watched Big for the first time today.
I only watched Big for the first time a few days ago. I had never seen Big.
What? Big was always on the telly.
What?
Why would I watch it on the television? I don't live at home. I don't have television. I don't have cable. I don't live at home where I'm just bougie as shit and other people pay for my cable. Okay, Sinead?
I can't help it that I'm upper class and rich. Wow.
Hi guys, I'm Jess. I'm Sinead.
I'm Adam.
I'm Cassie. And we're the Movie Rats.
The show where a bunch of crackhead film students talk about films.
Warning, this podcast contains goblins, ghouls, and
Bacon.
welcome to the Movie Rats.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Rats.
Hi. Hello.
So, yet again, Adam is still on his little sabbatical. So, we have Kate filling in again. Sabbatical.
Guys, I'm right here. Hi, I'm Adam.
Shut the fuck up. So,
I look like this all the time. Just
can you pitch that down?
So we have. Oh my god!
What?
Yes. So we have Kate here for your enjoyment.
If that's what you want to call me, then sure.
So anyway, so today's episode is I think it's going to be a really good one. I don't know if the episode itself will be really good, but the topics are really good. So today,
setting them up for failure,
right? Just I don't want to be like, yeah, this episode's going to be like the best one yet, and then it's literally absolute shit.
It's gonna be the bee's knees.
So anyway, today for our series topic, I'm really, really, really excited about this because like last season when we had, by the way, we're doing a queer analysis, but like last season,
queer analysis.
Shut up.
Like last season when we were when we had our career analysis last season, we were talking about Taika, and Jess was super excited because she absolutely loves Taika Waititi. Well, today I am over the moon to talk about my all-time favorite person in Hollywood, Tom Hanks.
Jeff Bridges.
Imagine. So, obviously, I'm sure everyone knows who Tom Hanks is. He is not in any way.
I'm sorry, I only know Chet Hanks.
Sinead,
you're not even tripping.
So I'm sure everyone knows exactly who Tom Hanks is, but just for a little bit of information about him, he has been acting since 1977. So just a little bit of the fun facts that I have.
Spill them.
So he has an asteroid named after him.
I can say he has one
That's
in
cute.
his back garden.
It is, but when someone famous gets a soul or something or other gets named, it's usually a star. Like in Hannah Montana, when they're that star is called Miley Cyrus, whatever. But an asteroid.
Yeah,
and then the world got demolished by Tom Hanks.
So anyway, a few other fun facts about him. He is an honorary Greek citizen. And
because his wife is Greek.
No, literally, he has a Greek passport. No, him and Rita Wilson and his immediate family, all of his children, all have Greek passports because they they used to visit Greece quite often, but they do a lot of activism and a lot of work, social work, and they do a lot of charity work in Greece. And so they were awarded their passports and stuff, and they're honorary Greek citizens because of their exceptional work.
That's really cute.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
I'm making jokes about it. I feel bad now.
So he is the second actor in history to win back-to-back Oscars, and the Oscars that he won were in 1993 and 1994 for Philadelphia and then Forrest Gump. So he was awarded the Distinguished Public Service Award by the U.S. military for his role and depiction in Saving Private Ryan. So he and Steven Spielberg both were given that award.
Oh wow!
Did they have to share it?
No, they were given it each.
Well, Steven, you can have it in your house, and then I have it on weekends.
He's also the youngest ever to receive the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award, which is the highest award that an actor can.
I saw that. I saw that happening.
He's very good.
He was awarded in 2002, so he was, I think, 46 years old.
I didn't see that happening. I was too.
And then, so these are, okay, well, and then also, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people know this, but obviously, look, a lot of people know him as an actor, but he does actually have quite a few producer credits. I think he's produced over, he's participated in the production process of over 56 movies.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
He tends to produce quite a lot of family films, so things like Mamma Mia and My Big Fat Greek Wedding, like things like that. He does a lot of family.
He was on set for Mamma Mia, and he didn't play one.
Yeah, he was an executive producer.
Why was it not Pierce Brosnan? He could have done SOS.
So if you hear me now, can't you hear me?
I kind of only have like one. Well, I have a couple of more fun facts in general.
No, it's okay.
Go. For the fun
We'd
facts
like to see.
part of this, this one's like super cute. Like this one has nothing to do with anything, but I read it and I thought it was really, really sweet.
They're our favorite.
Tom Hanks had to gain 30 pounds for his role in A League of Their Own, and it's really cute because he's just like, he cites the help of a nearby ice cream shop, and he's like, they helped me gain the weight, and I'm like, that's so cute. Those are my general fun facts. I have a few others that, like, you know, just in the back of my head that I want to talk about when we actually get into talking about some of the movies that he's famous for. So, but yeah, just to let everyone know, we have done a career analysis before, but instead of reviewing a movie, we'll be reviewing Tom Hanks' career. So we'll be going over some of his more famous roles, maybe some of his, like, more obscure roles. We'll talk about him, you know, especially because he's been active for, over 40 years now.
A very long time.
A little bit about, like, you know, his older films versus his newer films. And just, you know, his career overall. So, we'll go ahead and jump in. So just some of his, to give like a little references and stuff. Probably his most iconic roles, or the roles that he's known for the most, would be things like Castaway, Forrest Gump, Big, and of course Woody in Toy Story.
Woody.
So those would probably be his most known roles. Recently, his more recent roles would be things like A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Sully, Saving Mr. Banks, Captain Phillips, things like that. But as I said, he's been active for over 40 years, so there is a long list of movies that he has done.
Much.
So, we can go ahead and just, like, you know,
mosey on in.
I'll go ahead and start because he was my suggestion for this career analysis. So I loved him, Tom Hanks. I could not say any more good things about him. Like I can't say enough about him. I think he is absolutely wonderful. I think he's a really solid person, not only actor, but a really solid person. But in regards to, like, his acting career and the things that he's done and, like, you know, the roles that he's played, I think he does such a spectacular job because he takes things so seriously. I think we were talking a little bit a couple of episodes ago about Dame Judi Dench and how she doesn't matter if she's doing a comedy role or anything, but she just really takes it seriously. Like, she is committed to it. And I think that that's a really good description for Tom Hanks as well, because I think he really, like, he does what he needs to do in order to be the character and kind of really feel the emotions that character would feel. I think he really just melts into the character. He, like, really just truly becomes that character. And especially now, I think it's really difficult to do that when you're a really, really famous actor, because you're so your face and your voice are so recognizable that it's really hard to melt into the character. And, you know, because a lot of the time, like, for example, when we were talking in The Pacifier, you don't see Vin Diesel as Shane Wolf. You see Vin Diesel as Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
it's Vin Diesel in a
like
Vin Diesel movie.
When you have people like that have such a public, like, platform like that, it's really difficult, I think, to, like, you know, really play a character. And he does it just beautifully. Because I think in every single time that I watch him, I know that I'm watching Tom Hanks, but I also really genuinely feel the character that he's playing. And I think that a lot of them he has such variety. But my biggest things about him are just, first of all, he is an unproblematic queen. He is literally never in any scandals or anything. He has never said anything. Well, I'm not going to say he's never said anything because I don't know. But, like, you know, he's never been in the news for, like, bad press or anything. Like, he's such an unproblematic queen.
Knock on wood.
Right,
Knock on wood.
But he's just, I love him so much. It's because he's such a good person. And I say good with the emphasis because it's not like, oh, he's a good guy. No, he's a good, like he's truly just good.
He's very nice.
But yeah, I think he's just like, I think it's mainly just because he doesn't tend to get very political or, he doesn't really make any sort of statements about like things that are extremely controversial unless he thinks that it's absolutely necessary. And I really admire that about him because he doesn't insert himself into places that he doesn't belong or that, places that like no one has asked him to say anything. But he does say things when it's necessary. Like, for example, this also has to do with the fact that he actually did get COVID, but like, for example, when he, was saying, like, it's absolutely disgraceful if you just decide not to wear a mask because you're putting other people in danger. King. And I think that, it's beautiful that, I love that he says things when he thinks that he needs to. He doesn't insert himself into situations or in media or in stories or in social, situations or whatever if it's unnecessary, which I feel like a lot of celebrities do that. And it always tends to end in some sort of bad press or something, and I like that about him. A couple of other things just about Tom Hanks in general, personally in my opinion. So one of the reasons that I really, really love Tom Hanks, aside from the fact that I think he's just an absolutely spectacular person and actor and producer, is I think he just reminds me a lot of my dad, and I don't know why specifically, because I don't know that he's like exactly the same as my dad, but he himself reminds me of my dad. I think like also in like physical appearance as well, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, that might be like kind of the reason.
No,
why
that
I love
checks
him
out.
so much.
Tom Hanks, I feel like is very fatherly.
He's dad energy all the way.
He does.
Like I feel like he'd be like you'd see him and he's not your dad.
Yeah.
And snore really loud.
And make like dad noises when he like gets up off the couch. Like, oh no, I love him. But anyway, so more specifically into his career. Like I was saying, I think he really melts into the characters. But one thing that I think is really done really well. So just as an overview personally from anyway, just an overview of I think of what his career is. He did start in a lot of smaller comedies, kind of family friendly type things. For example, Big, which he personally states is that he thinks was his major breakout role, was where he really started considering himself an actor rather than just a person who was in some movies. So yeah,
he's so good in it.
Exactly, and
I
think one thing about that is that it's really interesting to kind of just view his transition in his the transition of his career, just the growth and development of his career, because he did start in a lot of smaller kind of lighthearted comedy movies, and especially recently he does a lot of biopics, but he does a lot of but not only is it biopics, but he does biographical dramas, and they're really intense emotional dramas. For example, I mean, I won't go too much into it right now because I know that we'll talk a little bit more about specific movies that he's been in a little bit, but things like Captain Phillips and Sully and the trauma that I think he portrays in those characters is really, really well done. The fun fact that I wanted to bring up that is more specific to this discussion is, so I did read that in Captain Phillips. So I love Captain Phillips. I think that is probably in my top 5 of my favorite Tom Hanks movies.
I am the captain now.
That one, yeah.
It's so good. But not only just because I think it's really, really well written. I think the story itself is really good. This is kind of very parallel to Sully, because while it's a dramatic story, it's not a huge tragedy or anything. No one died in either situation. He and his crew lived, and on Sully, in that story, no one, everyone survived. And so it's not a massive tragedy or anything, but you're still feeling the weight of the traumatic drama that is happening.
Just with those two, I just remembered outside the cinema with those two movies specifically, whoever I was with, go, we will fight anyone after watching it, because we'll fight anyone who hurts his characters again. So yeah,
thank you. Okay. No, but because so for example, so in Captain Phillips, the one part that makes this movie probably in my top 5, because while I think it's a great movie, there are other movies that I find more personally interesting. In this specific one, what just gets me, and I will just, it's ingrained, like imprinted in my brain for like eternity, is the last scene of the movie where he's being taken into the infirmary and he's in shock, and like
that was really upsetting.
I can't even talk about it because like it's just so affecting. Like the way that he express, like you don't see that in a lot of movies, mainly just because it's very difficult to watch, especially if you've been through shock before and some sort of trauma before. But it's also just that, you know, a lot of the times people want to know the happy ending and stuff. And so instead of watching that, you would normally just move into like, oh yeah, so this is him 3 months later when he's over it and he's happy with his family and all that. But actually, so what's interesting about it is that I read that for Captain Phillips, I even read the script for Captain Phillips, and at the end, that is what they were intending on doing. And also, it wasn't scripted, or it wasn't in the script that they were going to have a scene in the infirmary. So they were on the ship, and they had the real life captain of the USS Bainbridge on set with them, and they had asked him like, oh yeah, so what would be happening after this? Like, what happened to, like, what did you do with Captain Phillips once you had got him back? And he's like, oh, well, we took him to the infirmary to like get him checked out and stuff. And they're like, oh, let's go down to the infirmary and go like, you know, see what would happen there. And then they went down to the infirmary. It was a real life infirmary crew, like the real people who actually work on the ship that they were on. And he was just like, so what would you do if you were brought this person who was in shock? And they were like, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do. And he was just like, oh, well, okay, let's try it. Let's film it. And the guys, like, the crew were just like, oh, we haven't lit this part of the ship. And so they lit it. And his performance in that scene is just so, like, I don't even know the word for it.
She's going through
it. But anyway, I thought you were crying there.
No, I'm so.
But yeah.
I thought, like, Cassie's description was bringing you to tears. Just like...
Well, it brought me to tears. But anyway. But yeah, so aside from that, I just think he plays trauma really well, which I think is such a difficult thing to do, is to play like a realistic, like believable shock that, you know, a real human being, especially things like in Sully and in Captain Phillips, where the characters themselves are not built for this. They're not like military men. They're not like superheroes or anything. They're regular people with a regular everyday job. And they had to deal with this massive undertaking and had to like handle all of this like, you know, huge responsibility and trauma. And I love that, like, he does it so well, portraying because a lot of the times when you would see, you know, it's kind of like the idea of like, oh yeah, if someone was dying in a burning building, would you run in and go grab them? Like, you like to think that you would, but you don't know until you're in that situation. And a lot of people wouldn't, not because they're bad people, but it's just, it's
scary.
Thing. And so I love the way that Tom Hanks can really portray that, like, that kind of, the way that normal people, regular everyday people react to that kind of trauma. And I think it's so well done.
Shows the skills as an actor to portray reality and like empathize with these characters in a realistic way. It really shows like he's been doing this for so long, because those movies are later in his career, but he shows like he still has the passion for the craft and the skills as well.
He got the chops.
I love him so much. I think he's such a spectacular person.
He's
like, personally,
such a cool dude.
I'd say my personal favorites of Tom Hanks movies would be Captain Phillips. I love Saving Mr. Banks, so we'll talk about that in a second, but I love...
We'll get into it. I just finished watching it today.
I do really love Sully, but I'd say, like, from his older films, Castaway and... Probably Castaway and Forrest Gump. I do want to say this.
Forrest Gump. Sorry.
And I think we'll talk. We'll. I won't go too into it because I know I'm gonna make sure that we review this movie. I need everyone to stop fucking bashing the Polar Express, because that is my favorite fucking that is my favorite Christmas film, and everyone needs to stop fucking talking about it, because I watch it every year at Christmas, because it's like,
what's the song? What's the song that the girl sings?
It's just like, it's scary, the CGI is horrible, blah blah blah. Fuck all of them.
Can I say one thing about it?
Polar Express is my shit.
When I came out, so I was terrified.
I've never seen this movie.
Everyone needs to stop bashing that movie because that is my favorite. Because like the movie itself, I don't care about the CGI. I'm not talking about the like horrible, weird graphics and like
animation. It's not that bad. I'm an animation student. It's not that bad.
It's rough, but it's not that bad. And everyone needs to stop bashing it because it is a good children's film. I love that movie.
It's sad.
It keeps the child in me alive. That's all I wanted to say about it. That's all I needed to say. I just needed to get that out in the open.
Can't wait to slate it.
It means a lot to me. But like I said, I will make sure that we review that movie.
I really want to watch it now.
Around Christmas time.
Wondering.
So
Christmas special.
Everyone wait for that. Look out for that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, last thing that I personally just want to say specifically, and then I'll let you guys kind of like talk about some of your favorite films because I do want to get a little into like some more specifics discussion about his movies. Last thing that I want to say, though, is that, so he was one of the first, like, celebrities to get COVID. And I swear to God, because he's not old, but he's not young.
He's not a spring chicken, like.
When I read that, I woke up. I never get information when it comes from America when it comes, like, immediately. So I was, like, scrolling through my news in the morning, and that was the first thing that popped up. And I was like, I literally just like lost my shit. I feel like I almost blacked out because I was like, I swear to God, if 2020 takes Tom Hanks away from me, there is like no reason to go on anymore.
Fight everyone. You're going to fight everyone outside of the cinema, like I was threatening to do.
But like, if we didn't get the best meme of the year from Tom Hanks having COVID-19.
Wait,
I know what you're talking about. Is it what I think you're talking about?
Sweet baby Chet Hanks.
Oh my God. Have you guys seen that meme that's like, if ever there were people who like prove that like you become the person you were named, like it's Tom Hanks' children. Because, like,
one's name's Colin.
Yeah, it's Colin and Chet. And Colin, the picture is, like, him in, like, this nice, crisp suit, and he looks very, like, cute and, like, adorable. And then there's Chet, and he's wearing, like, a flat-billed cap and, like, a tank, like a bro tank, and he's, like, looking, like...
What are you gonna do?
He's literally a hype beast. He looks like a DJ from
If there ever was a Chet that looked like a Chet, it's Chet Hanks. I think that's all I have so far, but I definitely will have some comments on the films that everyone is going to talk about. So,
okay,
who wants to go first on their like little list of films?
No, I'm just going to say one movie, Splash. It is such a good.
It's a good movie. It's adorable.
It's a good movie. Yeah. So Splash, where I was wacky, is pretty wacky. He meets a mermaid.
No, it's super cute. I think that was the first, like, Tom Hanks movie that I watched, and, like, yeah, no, definitely, it was, like, my dad absolutely loved that movie, and so he was just like, oh, you need to see this movie, because I think that was when I was, like, in the, like, young kid stage of when I was, like, obsessed with mermaids, like, you know how you do.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing.
So, my dad was just like, oh, you love mermaids, let's watch this movie, and so I was like, okay, and that was, like, the first Tom Hanks movie I watched. So.
And then, like, yeah, so, like, a lot of the first Tom Hanks movies were, like, the kids, like, something Putcher and Hooch. The one with the dog. Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen
it. So yeah, I'm not going to say like, some people have like bigger points. I'll just chime in then. But like, solid movie, solid career.
I wish I could relate. I haven't seen Splash.
It is.
No,
really
Splash is
movie.
quite fun. It has It's quite fun. It's like aquamarine.
Is that the one with Cher?
But like better than
Aquamarine.
No, Jess.
That's Mermaid.
What? Cher is in Cher's in a mermaid movie?
No, it's called Mermaid. It's not. There's no mermaids in it.
What the fuck? Then why?
Why is it called Mermaid?
That's like calling a movie like Monster Dong, and there's no Monster Dong. Like,
why is that your example?
I don't know. I'm sitting on a big piece of information.
Go for it.
I've got like points on his actual movies, and I can like skim through them, but first I really want to talk about this thing, and I'll talk about it like as quick as I can. Like it's not a big thing, I promise. Okay, so there is this guy on TikTok, and I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I have it written down because I'm not a dick and I don't just reference one's content without saying the name. So it's K-Eyes, that's ITSKEYES. Okay, so this guy on TikTok, I've seen him a few times.
Yeah.
He has his little guitar and he like writes little songs about like not very well known sequels to beloved classics. And one of them is the book sequel to Forrest Gump. It was released in 1995, a year after Forrest Gump was released, and it was written by Winston Groom, who wrote the original book.
Okay.
So in the book, Gump goes broke and works as a janitor at a strip club. Okay? This takes place after the events of the movie, so this is canon. When the movie Forrest Gump ends, this begins. So he goes bankrupt. Bubba Shrimp doesn't. It gets fucked up. Okay, so
Bubba Shrimp's a successful real restaurant.
No, it's not, because now he's working at a strip club. At the strip club, he meets a football player who he used to go to college with. The footballer plays for the New Orleans Saints, then one thing leads to another, and now Trump. Sorry, his name's Gump, so they rhyme. No, we need to keep going. I need to get through it for you guys, because you guys are going to be really mad if I take too long.
I'm crying!
So, one thing leads to another, and Gump ends up playing football for the New Orleans Saints to provide for Jenny, who's sick and dies in the middle of a game. Then Forrest is cut from the team. And then he invents a new... Wait, I'm not done. Then he invents a new type of Coca-Cola whilst having an affair with a married woman he tried to sell faulty encyclopedias to. Through the woman that he's having an affair with, her husband finds out not about the affair but about the Coca-Cola, and he gets him a job at the research Coca-Cola team. But Jenny's ghost comes to him and tells him the job isn't for him. And when an angry mob who don't like Gump's Coke chase them across the country, Gump and his son get jobs at a pig farm and somehow solves the energy crisis using pig shit. He goes on a mission to Iraq and captures Saddam Hussein in attack. Now, here's where you guys are probably like, hey, this is just Forrest Gump. But here's the thing, Forrest Gump meets Tom Hanks, the actor. That's right. While pushing papers on Wall Street to provide for little Forrest, Gump meets Tom Hanks, who is filming big. But he's filming big, but he keeps quoting Forrest Gump, like unknowingly. Like he'll say a box of chocolates and as stupid does. So Forrest gets a new secretary and bangs her, which Jenny's ghost is cool with. Forrest has trouble with his rebellious son and remarries. I don't know if it's to the receptionist that he's banging or what, but
why does he meet so many chicks?
Why does he get so much pussy?
He meets the Clintons. And then a film adaptation was in the works, like in our life. A film adaptation for this, also the book is called Gump and Company. The script for the sequel was submitted on September 10th, 2001, a day before the 9/11 attack. So this travesty, of course, delayed production and has been in development hell ever since. Paramount took another spin on it in 2007, but nothing ever came of it. And that is the story of Gump and Co. Hold your applause.
Thank God. I'm so glad they did not.
I'm so angry. I can't even express how angry I am that exists.
I don't know who I am anymore.
So, what part was it for you guys?
Everything, every single thing.
It was the Tom Hanks for me. But
as soon as you said he went broke,
of like upset.
Yeah, he went broke and worked at a strip club.
That was you had me in that. Good God.
I'm tired. I'm actually I'm warm after going through all that.
That was something else.
Let me just
I do like the movie Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump's a good movie, guys.
I always cry when Bubba gets killed. Like, I'm stone cold for the rest of the movie. They mention his name, I'm like...
I just want to talk about Toy Story real quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the fact our generation grew up on this man's wonderfully soothing voice is great. And the past two generations, I guess, because it came out in the 90s,
Yeah.
The past, isn't there a Toy Story movie every 10 years?
Well, because I think what's actually interesting about that, the fact that you said that it's the past two generations, is that like when Toy Story 3 came out and it was really dark at the end and everyone was like having this like whole like, you know, existential crisis over that. I thought like a lot of people had a discussion about the fact that it was because the people who had grown up with the first 2 Toy Stories were now adults.
We're like
this
older.
was a movie made for them. And then from then on, it was kind of restarting for like being for children again. So it was kind of like that Toy Story was growing with its original audience and then started remaking itself for like the younger audience, which I think was
rebranded.
Kind of
yeah.
Remodeled.
I just think he's like, there's something real different about the way Tom Hanks does it for me because like he just puts a lot of like emotion and like heart into Woody, I feel. Like when Woody, I don't know, and he does it in a way that it's like there's like a whole thing with like before I'd say like the 1980s, the kind of like animation just got in like whatever talent. Like they were never no name live action stars. Like James Dean was hardly fucking Prince Philip in Sleeping Beauty.
Dang, I wish.
That would have been cool as hell, but it wasn't a thing.
Smoking a cigarette.
Once like, and it's not even that Tom Hanks changes his voice a lot. He has this way of just like, he has such like a childlike sense to him. Like in Big was like such a perfect role for him because he like, do you know what part? A part that made me just want to like die was the part in Big where he's in the hotel and it's like a dodgy as fuck hotel and he curls up in his sheets and he's crying and he wants his mom and I'm like, what the fuck? Someone get this boy a mom.
Illegal
Somebody
behavior.
get this mom a mom. Man a mom.
It's
like,
okay.
It's like, it was, and then he's like, I don't know, like he's got that kind of thing going for him, but he's also real childlike nature in the way like he does a lot of physical comedy, like you know the part where he's like trying to convince his mom that it's himself. And like his mom's going crazy, and there's like a part, you know, he picks up a little ceramic thing, and he's like, "Mom, I made this."
Yeah, and then he like,
and he's like, "Mom, I made this for you," and then totally absentmindedly, he just like crushes it in his hands. He's like, "Ooh." I'm like,
just so cute. Oh, and the piano.
I was about to say the piano.
I like whenever I think of Big, one of the things that like always comes to mind is that that episode of The Office where I think it's like disability or like it's a sensitivity training, and he's like, yeah, people with disabilities, and he puts like, you know, famous pictures like, you know, Roosevelt up on like the board and all that, and then there's a picture of Big, and they're like, why is there a picture of Tom Hanks? And they're like, and he's like, Forrest Gump was like, you know, mentally disabled. And they're like, that's a picture from Big. And he's like, no, it's not. And they're like, yes, it is. They're playing on the piano.
The Office had that just really absurd comedy. Like, that just didn't explain itself.
Another one.
And that's what Gen Z has now.
Yeah.
That's
but
so good.
And another thing about Big, the man can pull off any look, okay? Big, bright blue hoodie that's too big on him.
Fashion.
Amazing.
Yeah. He was a handsome man back in the day.
Good,
Very.
He's still a handsome man.
I was talking to my mom about him in the car, and I was like, he was quite good looking. My mom was like, no. And I was like,
oh.
Does your mother make glasses? I love you. Tanya, if you're listening, I love you.
What else is there that I've said about him? He's just very... Also, there's a really good part, like, it's kind of like physical comedy. It's just like a cute little mannerism when he's eating ice cream with his little friend, and his friend's trying to, like, get him a job. He's like, heart surgeon, fucking doctor, and like stuff, and like he's just like numbing on his little ice cream, and he's like, hey, can I have a cherry? Like,
he's like,
he's so cute.
No, yeah, he does really well with that kind of stuff. Like, and I mean, that's why, like, also with Forrest Gump, like, he does so well at like acting out a mental disability, which is once again very difficult to do. Like I was talking about with like the stuttering in it, like it's very difficult.
I realized something. Bill Murray and Tom Hanks are the same type of person in different fonts.
I always said that. As a child, I said that.
In different fonts, it's the same person in a different font. That's so funny.
Like, Bill Murray is like...
Is it an edgier font?
Yeah, no, Bill Murray's like Comic Sans. And then...
Oh!
I'm right.
Comic Sans is the worst
That's
font.
pretty mean.
That's
pretty
mean.
Bill Murray isn't even that nice of a guy, but that's pretty mean.
Bill Murray is like Wingdings.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't make sense of him.
Tom Hanks is like capillary. I don't know fucking fonts. I don't know where I'm
I think he's something more like something like
Romans,
you know,
New Time,
like Georgia.
Georgia.
He's
not
Georgia.
his old time. Oh yeah.
So next movie.
Okay, Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. Okay. So are we gonna talk about it? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into
It's
it.
not sunny in Philadelphia today, boys.
We, in my 5th year of secondary schooling, our teacher turned on Philadelphia without telling us a single thing about it. She did not tell us one thing. She said we're going, because we did this thing where we just watched
That
like,
is
a bunch
not
of
a
movies
movie
because
to
she didn't want
watch
to
at
teach us.
school.
No, I wouldn't be able to fly.
She turned on Philadelphia and she was just like, this is a Tom Hanks movie. We're gonna watch it, because we had watched like Shawshank Redemption and all these like series movies, and then she's like, I'm gonna turn on a Tom Hanks movie, and we're like, thank you. And I remember vividly the scene where he's like, him and the lawyer are in the house and he turns on the orchestra music and he's like standing with his arms outstretched in his like pajamas and he looks so sick. No coming back. I didn't go into class where we finished it because I watched it at home to prepare myself, and I was like, I'm not. No. Amazing performances. Antonio Banderas.
Puss in Boots himself.
Antonio Banderas. It's so important to watch.
It is. It's a really important movie. I agree with
It's
you.
super important.
So many people that I know, like my age, I remember in school, were very ignorant on that topic.
That was the first movie that Hollywood produced that like actually like dealt with those topics, like homophobia and HIV
AIDS.
crisis.
Can I just give a little side note? It's very traumatic having to watch Philadelphia in school, like obviously. Do you want to know what my school made us watch around the same time? The Human Centipede.
Why? There's no reason. There's no educational purpose for
my
that.
My teacher wanted to see us cry, apparently. We had a film module, and the genre was horror, and she put on Human Centipede.
That's
too,
like
but,
okay, no, but
yeah,
that one's not
wasn't
much
my
better.
favorite.
That's honestly a
Second
little
one's
bit
the
worse
worst
in certain ways.
That was the
like
worst
literally,
We watched Shrek.
we watched the old Romeo and Juliet where like she like where after they have sex she like turns around and her tits are like in full view and like everyone could not handle their
the
shit.
Leo DiCaprio one.
No,
the
old
one
one.
before that.
Oh, I was like, her boobs are in that.
No, she like
15.
after they have sex, like she turns around to like grab something off of the table or whatever, and her tits are just full on flying across the screen.
Oh my God.
And everyone was like,
Wouldn't
Anyway.
be Tom Hanks.
so
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
It is heartbreaking, and it's very obvious why he won an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't know why they let us watch it. They should have put on Shrek. Because it's like, it is a movie that is hard to watch, but it's so important. But it's also like, you feel uncomfortable watching it, and that's good.
Yeah.
Like, you need to feel these feelings. And Tom Hanks, again, Captain Phillips it, and it's just amazing. He can do anything. And he had to have, like, that must have had, like, an effect on his body.
Oh, well, no, physically, Tom Hanks has put his body through it.
Through a lot. He gained,
he gained 30 pounds for A League of Their Own, like I said earlier. He also, he gained, and for Castaway, they actually halted production for up to 3 months. Or no, I think it was a year. So that he could gain or lose the weight. Like, that would make him look like he had been on a deserted island by himself for, like, 4 years. And to grow the beard and everything, that was his real hair. Like, that wasn't a wig or, like, any prosthetics or anything. That was actually him. Like, they halted production for a year.
Baby.
But yeah, they did that. And then also, he gained and lost weight for Philadelphia. He has put his body
so he's very committed.
He is very committed.
He's very committed. It seems like he'd be down for anything. He's not like one of those actors like, I'm not doing that. Or like, oh, I'm above that. You know, that kind of way? I feel like he'd be quite...
Like, he's
still
like...
in love with the craft. He
loves acting. Like, that kind of feels like what it feels like.
That's like, I have so much respect for actors that do that stuff. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like, just, you know, quit your day job and become an actor, but like...
No, you have to really love what you do.
Like, you have to really...
Yeah.
It's not all fun. It's not all fun and games.
But like,
sometimes
if you
gotta...
imagine, like, you have to use your imagination a lot, so you kind of do have to revert as a child in a way to believe this stuff, because if you take yourself out of it, like, this is kind of stupid.
You have to have an active imagination. Like, you
talking to a
you
ball.
really do have to believe in the fantasy.
But it's one thing to sit there and imagine things. It's another thing to literally alter your body.
That's true.
That is
not even for yourself.
Well, and it's kind of like, once again, like how we were talking about, like how Bill Skarsgård was like heavily affected in his like mental state because he was so committed to the character that he really put himself mentally in that space. And like you know, same with like Heath Ledger and like, you know, most of the actors who play you know, Joaquin Phoenix as well, like people who play those types of characters, like emotionally and physically, like the ones that are truly committed, they like, I mean, they sacrifice themselves for the love of the craft. I want to talk a little bit about some of his biographical dramas because
please.
So some of his biographical dramas, like I was saying earlier, are Saving Mr. Banks, It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood,
Mr. Rogers,
Captain Phillips, Sully.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Yeah, Saving Mr. Banks. Oh my god.
Sorry,
we're all dying to talk about Saving Mr. Banks.
And I mean that's also like props like no fucking other to Emma Thompson. I fucking love that woman.
Get them out.
Love her so much.
Amazing.
No red in the movie.
No, I think Tom Hanks was such a delightful choice to play Walt Disney because as problematic as Walt Disney is as a person and like, you know, all that, I think just the general like joy and love of just the childlike, you know, enjoyment of life that Walt Disney stood for is such like it connects with Tom Hanks. Like it made sense that he would play that character.
But so obviously I'm an animation student, so Walt Disney means like a lot to me, whether maybe not so much as a person because he's
but like the legacy of like everything that he built,
what he stood for and the legacy, astronomical for like me and like and my family adores they adore Tom Hanks, but they adore Walt Disney. Like he's a big thing in my family. My family has a huge love for Disney movies, and I think Tom Hanks handles Walt with such like care and such like he's so dainty with it. Like he has, as soon as he came on the screen in that ad where he's like with Tinkerbell and he's like, Tink, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It felt like looking at like a family, like a really good friend of the family, like your granddad's friend. If that's what it felt like looking at for me, because like
I'm gonna cry.
Because I think for a lot of people, like that is what Walt Disney is. He's like a friend of your family, and Tom Hanks just got it right, spot on. And he as well, like, hold on, but he does the both sides of the coin. Like he has this like amazing showman that he was.
I was gonna say this.
Yeah, he's got the amazing showman of Walt Disney and like the total like builder of this fucking world and legacy that's still going on. And he just got him so well because it's the way he talks. He's so like when he's talking at the beginning, you know, trying to get on his side and all, and like
he's very charming. He like makes a connection with you.
Yeah, but he'll do this thing like where they'll just be like you know the part where like your one's like, oh, and about the mustache, and he's like, yeah, I put that in. Like, but he's got that thing in his eyes. He's like, I put that in, and if you tell me I can't have it,
stay in there.
You're out of here, you dumb broad. Like, he's got like, and like, even in Tom Hanks's later years, because he must have been 60 around when this came out, because he's 66 now. Even in later years of his life, he still has that childlike wonder and quality that reminds me of Big and reminds me of Walt, because Walt's very much one of Walt's kind of.
And that's exactly the reason that he also played Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
So oh my gosh. Okay, have any of you guys seen that movie?
Not yet.
Okay, no. So as the only person here who's seen A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, I feel that it is very similar to the feelings that you get when you watch him playing Walt Disney, because and I know that we didn't necessarily grow up too much with Mr. Rogers because it was more of like early 90s, 80s like era. But like you know who he is, and you know that he was such a like an important figure for like just child development, because he dealt with very heavy issues in a way that was easy for children to understand.
Like Sesame Street.
And I think that it was really such a great choice to have Tom Hanks play Mr. Rogers, because like the way he portrays Mr. Rogers too, like I really highly recommend that you guys watch this movie, is that he just
will we cry?
Yes.
Oh,
it's just like you really just feel comforted by Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers, and I think that was important because Mr. Rogers was a very comforting figure. He was a very comforting person, and I think it was such a great choice to have Tom Hanks play him in A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. So I highly recommend that movie. Oh, so I recently watched his most recently released film, Greyhound. Which was
that about again?
Interesting film. So it was about a naval captain during World War II.
Oh, I watched that one. Yeah.
And it was very interesting. It was a weird, differently formatted film because it wasn't like, you know, a massive like narrative or whatever. It was pretty much just, it took place over the course of like a few days. But it immediately goes into the action and like ends basically right as soon as the action stops. It was very weirdly formatted, but I really did enjoy it. And one of the things that I think Tom Hanks I commend the movie mainly because of Tom Hanks' performance is at the very, very end, because it's not a very like emotional movie. For the most part, there's not a lot of like deaths or anything that really like hit you or anything. And I wasn't having like, you know, I was interested and I was engrossed in the film, but like I wasn't like, you know, having a moment or anything. But at the very end, so throughout the entire thing, there's a recurring thing that happens where he isn't eating and he isn't resting, and at one point he asks like his assistant to go get him slippers because his feet are bleeding because he's been running around the ship for like hours and like days basically without any rest or food. And it's just this moment right at the end when they've made it and he's done and he like gives over command of the ship to, you know, someone else, and he walks into his cabin and he says a little prayer, and then he just he like takes off his like uniform and he just crawls into bed and just like curls up and just goes.
I feel like crying.
I'm not even kidding. I'm actually like straight up tearing up right now just the thought of that. But like he's just
no, because
it's the way
that story. That was like his first major time like commanding this like vessel. But it was like everything was going wrong. And then the spy is like, I can just be at peace now.
And it was like, because we all know that time where you just had a fucking day and you get home and you're just like, you're just so happy to curl up in your bed. And it's like that times a billion. And Tom Hanks it's just the way he moves. And it's because he doesn't have any words necessarily in that scene. And it's just the way that he acts out the scene, the way he himself moves. He just looks so tired, but so at peace to be able to be just, he's done.
Vibes. Very
he does.
There's never going to be enough time to talk about how wonderful I think Tom Hanks is.
That's
and
true.
I think that you all agree with me that I think Tom Hanks is one of the better actors in history.
Better people.
Well, that's one of the reasons that I think he is such a wonderful actor too, because you can commend him for the roles that he takes on and the things that he does. It's the fact that Tom Hanks truly is just good in like every aspect. And it's the fact that like he, as a producer, as an actor, and as a person, and as a celebrity, as someone a public figure, he's just so commendable, and there's so many great things about him, and I love
his passion.
Fantastic. He is.
I admire how passionately you speak about him.
Thank you.
It's nice.
If you love him so much, you should just marry him.
Very Chet.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Not saying that I'm in love with Chet or anything, because he's an idiot. But if I were to end up with any of Tom Hanks' kids, I can guarantee that I would absolutely end up with Chet. Not because
Isn't Colin like
it's 10? It's because of the men that I've dated in the past.
Cassie, I'm gonna provide for you. Don't even trip, dog. You wanna watch my episode of Shameless that I guest starred on?
Okay, alright. So, I think that's, like, not enough said, but quite a bit said.
Yeah.
He won a Golden Globe last year, I believe. It was like an honorary Golden Globe, I think. Or was it an Emmy?
That's the one I witnessed, not his other one in 2002.
It's the one that...
What, when you were 1 year old?
It was Charlize Theron presented him with it. And she gave this really nice story.
Is it, the Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yeah. And she gave a little, like, anecdote of, she, like, had this audition, and I think he was producing the movie, and it was, like, she was, like, no one. She was, like, just this little South African actress. No one knew anything about her. She never had anything, really. And she goes to this audition, and she's so scared that she starts, like, freaking out in the middle of the audition, and Tom Hanks just looked at her, And then he just turns around to the guys like, guys, I'm sorry, I just need a minute. Can we just take a break for a sec and we'll come back? He made it look like he needed a break and not her. So he just stopped it for her. And he turned around as well, and I can't remember. This is just straight up from memory because I watched it about 3 times. I'm pretty sure at one point he starts talking about like celebrities that are so big you just need them, like you just need to hear one name, and he's like, on one day, like, you know, I do believe that we've hit just a Charlize. And she like crumbled. I just remember her like squatting on the stage in her lime green dress, like she squatted.
Oh, one last thing that I want to say about him that we'll use to close out is I think it's really cute. You guys should all follow him on social media because he uses social media. Yeah, I'm not kidding. So like things like his Twitter and his Instagram and all that, he's not active on them very much. He posts like once every like 8 months or something. And the things that he posts, I love this little theme. He posts just things he finds around the New York streets. So he finds like a glove just like sitting on the sidewalk. He just posts a picture of it. Cute. And apparently, actually, I read something about how like he found like a cell phone or like something, or it was like an ID. I don't know. It was something like that. No, and the person who lost it like found it because he posted about it, and they were just like, oh shit, that's mine. And he was like, oh, well, here you go.
So what we do is, we go to New York, we drop a shit ton of phones around New York, and we pray that Tom Hanks finds one, and that's how we meet Tom Hanks.
We drop a phone in the Hudson, which is a known fact that Tom Hanks does scuba dive in the Hudson River.
After filming Sully, he was like, I gotta live in the Hudson River now.
Yeah. Alright, so I think we're gonna go ahead and end our discussion about this wonderful human right there. But yeah, so we're all gonna take a break, and then we'll be back. So yeah, we'll be back. Alright, and we're back, guys. This is like the morning for me. I was literally about to say like, good morning.
Good morning.
So if you're not watching the video, just to let you know, we are recording the second half of this episode the next day.
Yeah, sorry guys, that was my part.
Yeah, little baby
Sinead got sick.
She's
got ruined it all. She ruined everything because she decided to get sick halfway through the podcast.
I was trying to be all cute, and you're like, this bitch, and I'm like, little baby Sinead just got a cold. Anyway,
that's like the two parents. Like one of them gets sick on the floor. One of them's like, "Oh my god, you got sick on the floor." The other one's, "Are you
okay?" So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and just continue on with episode 7. So, Jess, you wanna pull us on?
Oh shit! Okay. It's not Christmas. I was about to do a Christmas
like, you literally always, you know that you have to do this and you never prepare for it.
It's Sinead's not of the week. There we go.
It's Chandler Bing.
It's not of the week.
I've never watched Friends. I didn't mean to do that.
Alright, anyway, Sinead, who you got for us this week?
Robert Pattinson, okay?
No, wait,
I have a funny...
Wait, hold on. I think we did do Robert Pattinson.
I don't care. I'm picking him again because I have new reasons.
You can't do that.
She can't. She has new reasons. There's new information.
All right, go for it. So Robert Pattinson.
I'm sick
part
as
2.
well, so guys. Yeah, so for the college course that I'm doing, I had to do an interview, and it's for acting. And they go, "Who's your favorite actor?" And I panicked. And I said Robert Pattinson, and he was like, "Oh, okay." And I had to explain why, and I felt so stupid. Well, no, he is a good actor.
What did you say? Why did you say
I said
why?
he was, I love that he's like, you can tell he's passionate now, because when he was doing Twilight, it looked like he hated his life. But he's picking roles that he likes, and even though like they're not big blockbuster movies, they're like indie films, it's quite nice. It's quite nice to see someone who's passionate about their work.
So passionate.
But I just felt like I felt like a knob.
You are a little bit.
No, okay, no, but like, okay, since we did that, I saw Tenet, which is one of the newer movies that he's in, and he was spectacular in Tenet. Like, he was really good.
I love that interview where he was like, I had no idea what the movie was about while I was making it, and I still don't.
I'm sad that Adam's not here, because Adam has, I swear to God, every single time anyone brings up Robert Pattinson, he has to say it, because I know that he said it in the episode, like, last season, that he's always just like, yeah, 12-year-old me would be so disappointed to know how much I love this man.
I think
Hark Winslow.
I think if like young kid me could see how much I love Robert Pattinson today, he'd be so disappointed.
I'm sorry.
He'd be like, no,
he was so
Twilight
good in the
dude.
Lighthouse.
Oh.
But yeah, like, Robert Pattinson's awesome now.
So, have Robert Pattinson, if you're not on TikTok, the meme is from a picture, because he was doing Good Times, the movie Good Times.
Yeah.
He's playing like he's a proper chav, but an American chav.
I don't know what that means.
But someone got a photo of him awkwardly standing in an Adidas tracksuit, hair slicked back,
in like a little bun or something.
Oh.
And like camouflage pants, and he's like, "Ooh, I just love how chaotic he is."
I love
and
that.
he doesn't care.
We were talking about Pete Davidson before this, but I love how much Pete Davidson loves Robert Pattinson.
Does he?
No, in Good Times?
Yeah.
No, he loves him in
He
Good
loves him
Times.
in Good
He's like,
Times.
Good
Oh,
Times
that's
is
so
my
funny.
favorite
Like,
movie.
yeah.
Pete Davidson, he came onto the Jimmy Fallon show, sat down, and Jimmy's like, I thought it was some movie he was in that was coming out, and Jimmy was like, let's promote your movie. And he comes in, he's in a Good Times t-shirt with Robert Pattinson's face on, and he's like, man, Good Times is the best movie ever made. Let me talk to you about how much I love Good Times. And Jimmy's like, okay, Pete, but we need to promote your movie. And he's like, do you have a clip of Good Times we can show instead of my movie? He's like, honestly, I don't give a fuck.
He brought it with him. He's like, I brought a
That's
clip
awesome.
of Good Times.
And like, Jimmy's like, you need to stop cursing. Like, you are so all over the place, Pete. And he's like, it's fine. I'm never going to be back here. So let's just talk about Good Times. You're never going to let me back on the show. So I'm just going to talk about Good Times. And he never went back on the show.
That's funny. Well, so why do I get the feeling that we're going to talk about Robert Pattinson definitely more than 2 times as NATO's Nut of the Week over the course of this series?
He's just like my standby if I'm really just like, I can't think of anyone.
We're like,
oh,
because you can
Robert
always talk about
Pattinson.
more
Have I
Robert
talked about him before?
Pattinson.
I love is it true that when he was doing the
What?
Harry Potter movie, he got kicked out of school for like selling drugs? There's not drugs. He sold.
Did he?
No, it was
It was-
porno
it
mags.
It was adult magazines.
Oh,
No,
that's so
it
funny.
was-
Well, because I know that the like Crabbe and Goyle both like had like some severe like trouble with the law and stuff.
Oh,
while
was
they
it
were
not just
filming.
Crabbe?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
was
no,
it
never
just
mind. Yeah,
Crabbe?
it was just Crabbe because he ended up getting fired, which is why in the last movie he was supposed to be in the last movie, but they switched his character from the books into Goyle, and then what? We're not even talking about Robert Pattinson right now.
No, but like he was like selling like porn magazines to his fellow students.
Well, like Harry
And so-
Potter themed porn?
I don't know,
What the
but
fuck?
they
Like,
kicked him out. So apparently he was just hanging around the set all the time. Like when like Daniel and Emma and Rupert were all going to like school, Robert was just chilling. Just like, what's up? Because he got kicked out of school.
That's honestly super funny. I really super do love Robert Pattinson because like I feel like he recognizes the bullshit that Twilight is, and he
I think I
recognizes
smell
that
like a
well, 'cause I
crayon.
think he was also still pretty young, and he was still pretty relatively new to acting when he did Twilight. Like, I mean, yeah, he had gotten the role in Harry Potter and all that, but he still like he hadn't had his like huge like people were recognizing him as Robert Pattinson. And so I feel like he recognizes the fact that Twilight was a bunch of bullshit, and that like nowadays he takes it seriously, and he is a serious like adult actor.
He's gonna whack one out in Batman.
Well, because the trailer came out since the last time we talked about Robert Pattinson.
does he have a child?
No.
No.
I thought I read that he had a daughter.
No.
It's Sinead. She's literally like she's orphaning him. Like she's
Yeah,
literally on the orphan.
Sinead is his adopted daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
she masquerades as a 6-year-old, and she's like, I'm actually 19.
Yeah.
Legally an adult.
Well, I'm so confused. What are you
We're
talking
talking
about?
You're gonna
We're talking
orphan.
about how you're
That's the picture.
But he's cropped.
I like how he's no. The crops makes it funnier. I feel like I'm looking at like a reverse mugshot. Have
well,
you
because I was
seen
gonna
this
say
man?
if you didn't tell me that was Robert Pattinson, I wouldn't have guessed, because like it's not only just that you can't see his face, but it's the fact that like that's not something that you would imagine seeing Robert Pattinson in.
Anyway, so why are you talking shit about me?
Oh, we were saying that you're Robert Pattinson. You're masquerading as Robert Pattinson's adopted 6-year-old daughter.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I think she's so focused on finding this picture of Robert that like
She was
she's just
like,
not
"What's
even
going
listening." You know, I love that we had like such a substantial, really serious discussion about Tom Hanks, and then we move into Robert Pattinson, and it's just like a bunch of bullshit.
Here, I was
There is
going
a
to say Adam
ballerina.
Sandler, and I I didn't want anybody to hate me.
Okay,
so
I
wait for Hubie Halloween.
You know
to
what?
come
You
out.
can choose Adam Sandler at some point. I won't hate on it, but we will have a serious discussion.
You all hate.
I don't hate Adam Sandler. I find it odd that you're obsessed with Adam Sandler, but I don't hate him.
I get it. She's a 19-year-old girl.
I like his movies.
Wait, did you say you get it because I'm 19?
Yeah.
Okay.
There he goes.
Oh.
There.
Oh no. For everyone listening on Spotify, this is a visual cue. This is
where we plug the YouTube channel in which you're gonna go
watch us on YouTube.
The YouTube of the recording.
Yeah, guys, because Robert Pattinson just walked into Sinead's room.
Yeah. He's just staring at us. He's
said,
trying to figure out what's going on.
Wave, Robert.
Get
He's
out.
waving.
So, anything else on Robert Pattinson?
I'm too scared to say anything since he's in the room.
Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and move on then. So, I'm glad that we had a part 2 of that. That was cute. That was very chaotic. That was like maybe 20% discussion on Robert Pattinson, like 80% everything else.
And that's okay.
So anyway,
It'd be like that.
so we are gonna move on to our segment this week. So this week we don't have a review. We're going to be playing another round of Bacon's Law.
My first Bacon's Law.
This is Kate's first round of Bacon's Law, so she's very excited about it. So anyway, okay, so then we'll go ahead and start. Do we want to start with Jess and me first, and then we'll do Kate and Sinead,
And then we'll switch it up. Right.
All right. Let me think for a second.
Oh, I have one. I hate it.
Ooh, Who is it?
I think I have one, and I think it's probably going to be not the easiest one. So
Me neither.
All right, everyone ready?
Right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Helen
Ricky
Hunt.
Gervais. Oh my god. Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be impossible.
I hate Helen. No, I'm not looking. I'm not participating in this one. Helen annoys me so
Why?
much. She was in every 90s film.
She's
She was
a
in the
castaway.
movie Twister. She's in the movie Twister,
was a
and I
good
have
movie.
beef. I have beef for her character from the movie Twister.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's so
Why?
Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones beats Twister. It is so
Why?
superior. Because of the one guy
Tommy
who's
Lee Jones
redemption.
is amazing.
One, Tommy Lee Jones is amazing. 2, the asshole guy who smokes sacrifices life to help the guy who's trapped on the train and burns alive in the lava. It is amazing. And Twister is just like, it's annoying as hell.
I love
I like
Twister.
Twister,
I
but
think I'm
she's
getting somewhere.
annoying. I hope you guys love my little rant in between us trying to figure out his.
She's
I
in
feel
As
like-
Good As It Gets with Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Is Tom Hanks in the movie with Robin Williams?
I don't think so.
No? I can't spell Twister. I keep spelling tweezers.
Tweezer.
Tweezers.
Oh wait, hold on. I think I might have gotten it. So, who is it? Helen Hunt is in As Good As It Gets with Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is in How Do You Know with Paul Rudd, and Paul Rudd is in Night in the Museum with
Paul Rudd is in Night at the Museum.
Yes, with
I
Ricky Gervais.
forgot all about that. That was good. That was actually quite good.
No,
Oh,
no,
I've
no.
got one.
Go for it, Sinead.
Helen Hunt's in Twister with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's in Patch Adams with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams?
Is it Night
Yeah,
Museum?
Robin Williams is in Night in the Museum. Yeah. Alright, solid. That was a good round though. Like Ricky Gervais and Helen Hunt are very different actors.
Helen Hunt, angry.
Alright, well anyway. Okay, let's move on. So Sinead and Kate, do you have your person?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I've got one.
Alright, 1, 2, 3.
Bella
Sam
Thorne.
Claflin.
Who?
I fucking hate
Who?
Bella Thorne. I think she's the worst. I don't know why.
I think
She grates on my nerves. I hate her.
Who did you
Sorry.
say, Sinead?
Sam Claflin.
I like him.
He's in a lot
I
of
feel like
stuff.
that's gonna be easy.
Yeah. No, he's in
in
a lot.
like
Pirates of the
he's in
Caribbean.
Me Before You. He plays Finnick in The Hunger Games.
Oh,
He's
that's
in
gonna
Love
help.
Rosie.
A YA movie.
What's gonna be hard? Wait, Millie Bobby Brown might help us.
Yeah, I was gonna say
She might be of use yet.
What was Millie Bobby Brown in?
they're in Enola Holmes together.
Enola Holmes are in together, and then she's in Stranger Things. No, it's gonna be hard because Bella Thorne's not in much. I can't believe you said Bella Thorne is an actor.
She is! Are you kidding me?
Wait!
Are you joking?
I did it! Okay, so Millie Bobby Brown's in Enola Holmes. She's in Stranger Things with Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard is in It with Wyatt Olive, and Wyatt Olive is in one episode of Shake It Up with Bella Thorne.
Oh, he is!
Oh my god, Wig. I can't believe you remembered he was in Shake It Up.
I'd like to thank Millie Bobby Brown for this moment.
Let's move on.
Okay, so Jess and Sinead?
Oh, another one hugging me.
Okay.
I got someone.
Me too, okay.
Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Rebel Wilson.
You've chosen Rebel Wilson several times, I feel like, Sinead.
I have, dude. One episode I won't shut up about her.
Oh, wait, I got it. Wait, no, hold on, never mind, I didn't.
Rebel Wilson. Burger King foot lettuce. Number 13.
I looked up Rebel Wilson, and then there's just a man's face beside her.
Wait, Emma Stone? Wait, I was going to say they're both in Cats, but they're not.
Oh, Cats is... I feel like Cats is definitely going to have to. There's a lot of famous people.
Yeah, she's in Cats. Jason Derulo is going to be our key man. I don't know why.
Wait, I got it. Wait, no, I don't.
You know what's great is Emma Stone's in Crazy Stupid Love, and you know who Crazy Stupid Love has? Kevin Bacon.
Okay, I think I've got it. Okay, you ready? And Jess, I used my favorite fucking movie. Emma Stone is in Birdman. Michael Keaton. She's in Birdman. Michael Keaton is in Birdman. Michael Keaton is also in Spider-Man with Tom Holland, who then co-stars in Endgame with fucking your man. With Taika Waititi. Sorry. With Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi's and Jojo Rabbit.
I have a shorter one.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Rebel Wilson's in Bachelorette with Isla Fisher. Isla Fisher's in The Wedding Crashers with, what's his face? Bradley Cooper. And Bradley Cooper's in Aloha with Emma Stone. Alright, that was a good one. Alright, next one is me and Kate.
I had one.
Let me think.
I had one there for a sec and then it went.
I always do.
Was it Rebel Wilson?
Okay,
Was it Robert Pattinson?
I have one.
Okay, I've got it.
I have one. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Chris Pine.
Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, guys.
What?
Chris Pine. I'm trying to think of what he's in. He's in Star Trek. Star Trek.
He's in a lot, but is any of it good?
Stop.
I've got it.
What?
I've got it. It's a bit of a way around, but we're getting there. Okay. So, Chris Pines has been in episodes of Robot Chicken with our good friend Seth Green. Now, I'm going to start this sentence and these are all going to go, it doesn't count, but listen. Seth Green played the original Richie Tozier in Chapter 1. Okay.
I know where this is going. No, I know where this is going.
Yeah, you know.
No.
Wait,
no. It does count.
No, wait.
No.
But then in It Chapter 2, they link the two because the old Ben Hanscom from the original 1990 series is in It Chapter 2 with Finn Wolfhard. Big dick! Get it.
Actually checks in. I can't argue it.
Wait, I might have one though.
Go for it.
Okay, so Finn Wolfhard is in Stranger Things with Millie Bobby Brown. Millie Bobby Brown's in what's it fucking called with Sam Claflin?
Enola Holmes?
Yeah. And then Sam Claflin's in Snow White and the Huntsman with Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart's in Twilight with Anna Kendrick, and Anna Kendrick's in Into the Woods with Chris Pine. I don't know if that one was a longer one. That might have been a longer one.
I really felt like Chris Pine was going to help us, but I just couldn't figure out how.
Wait, Chris Pine.
I mean, Into the Woods.
I was like, Chris Pine definitely needed to help because he was the one we had to match. Okay, so let's do 2 more, and then we'll sign off.
Fun, guys. I like this.
Right, okay, so we'll do
you and Sinead.
Me and Sinead. So,
okay.
Let me think of someone.
I got someone.
Okay. I got it. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Reese Witherspoon.
Emily Blunt.
Well, I feel like that was gonna be easy. Oh wait, I got it. Reese Witherspoon is in This Means War with Chris Pine. Chris Pine's in Into the Woods with Emily Blunt.
Always Into the Woods.
I
hate Into the Woods.
Silly movie. My mom hates that movie. So.
I hate it because of the weird wolf guy.
That was good.
Fuck Into the Woods. Do you just want to go again because that was so short, or?
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. So we'll do Jess and Kate.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Give me a sec.
Staying alive. Staying alive.
I've got it.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg and who?
Ricky Lake.
Oh, Ricky Lake. L-A-K.
I've never heard of that person.
Oh, I do feel like Crybaby is gonna be our saving grace right
Oh
here.
yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah. It's gonna be Johnny Depp.
Wait, I don't know her. Who is
I
she?
don't know who she is either.
What? Are you guys serious?
I've literally never heard of this woman.
She
I mean,
was
I've
the
seen
original.
some of her movies because I have seen like Crybaby and stuff, but
I did it.
Samberg,
Alright, I did it.
go
Okay.
for it.
Ricky Lake is in Crybaby with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is in Rango with Isla Fisher. Isla Fisher is in Hot Rod with Andy Samberg.
Whoa, that was a good
I
one,
love
yeah.
Rango.
I love Isla Fisher. Isla Fisher is so great. I love her.
She's amazing.
Rango.
She bagged. Well, no, Sacha Baron Cohen bagged her.
I mean,
she
I
bagged.
was gonna say like, excuse me. All right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Just
End it.
I feel like those were a couple of some real good ones. So okay, before we head out, let's do our
usual
plugs really quick. What has everyone been watching?
I'm not going first. I need to think.
I'll go. I've been down a dark rabbit hole, one can say. I keep rewatching all the Harry Potters, but now I'm at a stage I'm crying at anything. Hagrid, I'm crying. I'm crying because
well, you know
also
what? It's because
what
Harry's
happened?
just like the only father figure I had was Sirius, and I'm like, excuse
You have like 10. Are you kidding
You-
me?
Hagrid is the ultimate.
I
father
don't
figure
agree
to
what's
Harry.
happening now with the
Rude.
actor, but
Anyway,
when
sorry.
I'm watching
yeah,
the
same.
films,
Oh, yeah. Fuck him.
I'm crying at anything. I'm crying. What was one thing I cried at, and it wasn't even that sad.
Is
Oh
it when he comes back from Azkaban?
no! It's when Neville is so happy dancing,
No.
and he comes
Aw,
back with his
yeah.
little shoes, and he was dancing in his little life away, and I was like, "You have fun, Neville." He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah, when he comes back,
dancing.
he's just like, I just got in. Me, and you're like, oh no.
Neville is the best character. He was, if you know the lore.
Yeah,
well,
the Harry
know that
Potter
he was-
lore.
he was like, he's just as chosen as Harry.
Yeah,
Basically.
Voldemort just didn't choose him because he chose Harry because he related to #relatable to Harry because Harry was
To a
half-blood.
baby. Fuck, grow
To
up,
a baby.
fuck.
Because Harry was a half-blood, Neville was a pureblood,
Oh, okay.
and so Voldemort felt, a connection there. Anyway, I have been watching. So I've been watching a shit ton of Tom Hanks movies, obviously, to prepare for this episode. Also, just because who doesn't love watching Tom Hanks movies? But aside from that, I watched United '93 a few days ago. Mainly because also it was in September, and Americans always get blasted with a ton of September 11th news articles and stuff at the beginning on September 11th, and so it just reminded me of that, and so I watched United '93 a little while ago, which honestly is a really solid movie.
Kate.
So it's not something I've watched recently. I watched it during lockdown. It's on Disney Plus. It's a documentary called Waking Sleeping Beauty. I was just thinking about it when I had my own little rant about Walt Disney, a positive rant earlier on in the episode. It's basically about the Disney Renaissance, which is when it's like Disney lost a shit ton of money.
Yes.
Don Bluth left and he made his own money, and that put Disney in the shithole. And then not that John Lasseter is a great guy, but John Lasseter, Tim Burton, a bunch of other guys who are big names in animation now. It's like they just came out of college and they're just starting out on Fox and the Hound. And it's a lot of found footage of them being 19, just oh Tim, you fucking
That's
weirdo."
cute.
And then it goes into how they made Basil, Little Mermaid, and
Oh well, I want to watch that.
it's on Disney Plus, and it's even
Good, because I use Adam's Disney Plus.
but yeah, it's Waking Sleeping Beauty, Disney Plus.
Sweet. All right, Jess, what have you been watching?
I watched Muppets from Space last night.
Don't stop. That's so good. It's the most depressing one because he's
It's so depressing.
All right. Well, I think that was a pretty solid episode, guys. So good job, everyone. Let's all pat ourselves on the back, you know. All right. Well, Kate, if you want to plug your social media once more.
Yeah, my art account on Instagram is Strawberry Stripe. That's STRAWBERRYSTRIPE. Wow, that was actually impressive. I draw fun stuff, and yeah, it's a great time.
Very cool.
There.
Awesome. Well, everyone go follow Kate on social media on her Instagram.
Do it now.
So rewind if you missed it.
Follow us on social media as well. We're on Facebook and Instagram
and TikTok.
Oh yeah, we're starting a TikTok.
And TikTok. At the Movie Rats, and we're on Twitter at Movie Rats Pod. You can also go to our website, themovierats.com. We have a bunch of really fun information and stuff. And also, if you're listening to this on Spotify, go ahead and visit us on our YouTube page because we are posting these episodes as video podcasts. They have a lot of like extra stuff on them, some fun little jokes and everything. So if you're looking for some more content, go ahead and listen to them. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Bye.
And we have a few more that's left this season.
Love you,
so keep on listening.
XOXO TTYXX.
XOXO, the Movie Rats.
For more content, you can find us on social media at The Movie Rats and online at themovierats.com.
New episodes up every other Sunday on Spotify.
The Movie Rats is produced by Dirty Bird Productions, as well as Adam Carr, Sinead Barrell, Jess Boylan, and Cassie Egger. Art by Kate Doyle, and music by Sinead Barrell.
Thank you for listening.